Hello, everyone. Well, they said churches don't collect taxes, and that's a fact. So the situation whereby someone abdicates responsibility and say that the churches should feed people, just like Tinubu said, hey, churches are under no obligation to feed people. It is the responsibility of government to take care of the welfare of the people and also to protect the people. And government cannot fail. You can't rig election to get into place and then begin to tell people that they should go and look for. Are you okay? As seen, churches don't collect tax. Ladipo Johnson slams Tinubu over hunger comment. A former national publicity secretary of the new Nigeria People's Party (NNPP), now a chieftain of the Nigerian Democratic Congress (NDC), Ladipo Johnson has slammed Bola Tinubu over a recent statement credited to him during his meeting with the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria. Ladipo Johnson described the statement as a shocking low point in the history of presidential communication in Nigeria. Tinubu has never hidden the fact that he does not have an ounce of sympathy, neither has his wife or his children. They've always shown that how disdainful they were of Nigeria, and the suffering of Nigeria does not matter to them. For me, and this is just my own opinion, it's theory, it's not as if I don't have any evidence on this, whatever. I just feel like the way Tinubu, treats the way he treats Nigeria and the way he does Nigeria, it's almost as if there is something that was done to him as a child, that this is his time. He's now revenging. I'm gonna destroy you people for that hurt that you caused me. And being someone that nobody really knows anything about, you don't know his origin, you don't know who his parents are, you don't know primary school, no secondary school, nothing, BSc. This time in his INEC, he didn't put any of those schools, whatever, that he just put BSc. That is it. Whatever you take BSc, can be BSc, maybe he got it from an Akara wayside, from the University of Akara making, or University of Corn selling. It's almost as if, like I say, Nigeria something was done to him, and then he has been on that vendetta mission that he's going to do something to Nigeria, and he's finally getting that opportunity, because some of the things that he says, they are so awful that you cannot imagine that someone who has an ounce of empathy in him or her will be able to say such a thing. Johnson described as a profound abdication of the primary purpose of government, a president's statement that hunger existed before he was born, and that citizens should look to their churches for sustenance. So if citizens are going to be looking for their churches for sustenance, then political leadership then shouldn't go in the hand of the churches, if that's the way you want to do it. So you want to take the assets and not the liability. You're supposed a government is supposed to cater for the needs of the people. But no, these ones come in, get into office, and all they're thinking about is to cater to their own personal selves, to at the detriment, of the people. Section 14(2)(b) of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria explicitly states that the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. Johnson said in a statement on Saturday, by shifting the fundamental burden of social welfare from the state to religious bodies, the president is declaring his own policies bankrupt. Faith-based organizations provide charity. They do not collect taxes, manage national resources, or dictate macroeconomic policies. He noted that the tone of the president's response, illegitimate president, reveals a worrying disdain for public accountability and the concerns of voters, and reflects the posture of an administration that believes it is unaccountable to the people who hold the power of the ballot. He added, dismissing severe systemic hardship is a mere historical inheritance or unmanageable consequence of population growth shows a complete lack of empathy and statesmanship. Leaders are elected to solve complex inherited problems, not lament their existence. I think that's where Mr. Johnson, I would say he got, yeah, leaders are meant to, but Tinubu is not a leader. So that's the thing. He's not there for whatever it is that will benefit the people or to do something for the people. He's there for himself alone. And he has shown that categorically. That's one thing you give Tinubu, is the fact that he does not hide the fact that he does not have empathy. He doesn't care about Nigeria. He's there to deal with Nigeria in whatever way, and have his enjoy to the best of his enjoyment the things that he will do. Claiming an inability to steer Nigeria's economic and population trajectory is a public confession of administrative failure. Even Tinubu himself knows that he's a failure. He hasn't done anything. No matter how they try to sell that in the language that it's not, Tinubu is a categorical failure, and that's it. It proves that this administration lacks the analytical capacity, data-driven approach, and strategic vision necessary to stabilize food inflation and secure the lives of everyday Nigeria. Nigeria requires executive leadership that embraces the buck stopping at the president's desk. Any leader, any president, any head of state must take responsibility for anything that is right or wrong in that country. Government is always in continuum. Nothing stops. Nigerian government yesterday, Nigerian government today, Nigerian government tomorrow is going to be. It's administration that changes. So you can't come in here and say that, oh, I wasn't the one that did. But the assets that came from the last administration, you were in it. How on earth will Tinubu say he's not part of the APC 12 years? Now we've had I think we've had 16 years of, have we had 16 years of APC? 8 plus, no, we are about to have 12 years. We're about to have 12 years of APC, and it's the same APC. You've been in the corridor. We've been with those in this APC power for the last 12 years. You can't come and then begin to put yourself aside and say you're not part of the problem that we have in Nigeria today. We call on the administration to pivot away from dismissive rhetoric and immediately present actionable structural solutions to the acute food crisis ravaging our communities. Government must feed its policies with competence rather than asking starving citizens to rely purely, on hope. My fellow citizens, like I always would tell people, let me even remove my glasses. 2027 election that we're going to have in January 2027. It's a fight for the soul of Nigeria, and also fight for our lives. It is a war we are going into. It's not the time for people to stand aside and say, oh no, everything that must be done to ensure that Tinubu is not able to rig his way into power again should be done by everybody. There has to be hand on deck, and everyone, the thing that you are able to do matters a lot in the whole scheme of us getting a Nigeria that works for every one of us. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.